BagFuel, baby.
Yo, man. BagFuel, we back.
That's so, man, this is gonna be a goodie, man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we got a lot of history on the table right now. We got a lot of history on the table.
We got a man who doesn't really do these type of things, man.
Yeah, I actually don't, not much. I'm not a camera guy.
And I haven't been blessed to know him. This is one of the few people that I haven't known. We got connected through somebody on Facebook because they saw we did Corey Rooney. And they saw that the relationship that I had with Corey and relationship that you started with Corey, and they was like, yo, if y'all did this with Corey, y'all got to talk to Kurt Woodley.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So,
do you know Kai?
What's Kai?
Kai works for 50. He's an engineer. He's from South Jamaica.
I know Kai from a
Kinda
long time
slim
ago.
guy.
Yeah, but I haven't seen him in years.
Yeah, he still works for 50
Does
off
he?
and on, but...
I'm from, I grew up with 50 Cent.
You know what's funny?
Literally.
They tell me that 50 used to work with Corey Rooney, but he was he was
bigger.
He was bigger.
Yeah.
I said, Kurt, you remember him? I said, I don't remember him. I said, he looks different.
He looks
used to always
different now.
be around the studio.
He was more fat.
Yeah.
And then once he left Corey, he toned up and it turned it to muscle. You know what I'm saying?
You know Shaw then? You gotta know Shaw.
Yeah, I know Shaw.
That's my man.
I actually managed producers with, you talking about Shaw Money?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew Pretty Shaw that was with him a lot that passed away. I knew Rough Hands that was with 50. Rough Hands was on man. Shout out to Sakeem, shout out to his brother Derek. You know what I'm saying? I'm from that side. I'm from 130. I'm from Rochdale.
Okay.
And they from 134, right across the street. Right across Guy Brewer was them. So we call them Rochdale Village and we call them the back blocks. And we was always together, 130 and 134. I knew everybody that they grew up with.
That's what's up. Okay, we can get in the nitty gritty of it. Now we know a little bit of the history, we can get into the nitty of it.
Yeah, so you've done so much. There's too many questions that we're gonna ask. Just before we start, just tell them some of the things that you've done and so that they understand.
So I'll give everybody like a kind of an elevator pitch.
Of course.
History of it.
I like that.
I was a jock at first, played basketball, was good, played football, was good, but not nowhere near to make professional, even go Division I. So when I went to college, I kind of recognized that. I went to Lehman College where I met Andre Harrell, who was Dr. Jekyll from Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. But I didn't know it at the time. He was always wearing suit jackets and stuff. And I was like, Dre, what do you do besides this? Like, go to school. Said, I'm a rapper. I looked him up and down and said, you a rapper? This guy can't be no rapper. He don't look like no rapper. So one time he played a record for me. It was called Genius of Love or Genius of Rap or something. Genius of Rap. The original was Genius of Love. It was Genius of Rap, right? So basically what happened was his road manager kind of got caught out there and things didn't work out. So he brought me as the road manager, and that's how I learned the game. And one day we were all out, and we went to this club, real popular club called 71 or something like that, 71st Street on the west side of Manhattan. And we went to VIP, and they gave us bottles, and there was chicks in there, and like, yo, want more drinks, and I was like, yo, this is what this music business shit is about? I gotta be down with this. Yo, I was in it. I mean, the chicks was coming, sitting down. Back then, I used to wear these tight-ass dresses, so it was like, oh, and heels. I was like, oh, shit. I'm a nerd. Like, I'm not a hip-hop cat. I'm an athletic nerd. Like, I don't know shit about the street. I don't know nothing about music. But as soon as I got in that VIP, I was in. So a little bit down the road, Andre decided that he wanted to be more on the executive side than the artist side. And be realistic, the next album just didn't work. So, you know, he hung up his rapping cleats and decided to be behind the scenes. He met with Russell. Russell was just coming up. And he says, Kurt, I'm gonna be the vice president of Def Jam Rush. And I was like, word, for real, can I get a gig? He said, let me talk to Russell and see, what I could do. And called me about 2 days later and said, I'm gonna make you the messenger. I ain't giving shit. I could have been sweeping floors, mopping shit. I just wanted to get down. And we was on 26 right off of Broadway. And I'm running to Rush. I'm running to Def Jam. I'm going because there were separate offices at one time. And then they had, I think it was Jive I had to run to, and this label and that label. And you know what the funny thing back then was? The rappers were really down to earth. Because they wasn't making too much, not much more money than if you was working at a regular job. They was getting like 2,000 a show, 3, like 5 was a big check. So you had Houdini, Run DMC, LL Cool J. And by the way, he used to actually run around with that box. He used to get on the train with this big ass box on his shoulder, right? And come to the office. So that wasn't no bullshit. He was really rolling with the box. You know what I'm saying? That was his thing. Thank you. And the Beastie Boys was just kind of coming through at the time. And Curtis Blow was there. He was kind of like the star. But it was just amazing because everybody was cool with everybody. It wasn't like, oh, I'm this and you're that. It was just cool. And as time went on, the whole rap game started to get bigger. And I'll never forget one time we did the Christmas show. And it was at Madison Square Garden. It was the first hip-hop show that was going to be at the Garden. And Curtis didn't want to perform. He wanted more money. I'll never forget this. I was like, I'm an intern. They ain't, intern message. They're not paying no mind to me. So I'm like, yo, give him the money. Give him the money. Oh, shit. I ain't no street cat. I'm just a regular dude. Give him the money. Oh, shit, Curtis ain't gonna perform. Russell in New York's like, man, fuck that. We're gonna go get New Edition. We'll get those kids from Staten Island. We'll get this, we'll get that. I was like, oh, shit. And I learned the lesson. Sometimes when people put you up against the wall, you got to stand your ground. And then Curtis finally came through at the last minute when he realized, yo, they're going to get somebody else.
That's where Crush Groove came from.
Yep.
That whole scene in Crush Groove.
Yep. So I was there when we first went to the Garden. I remember there was chicks and fun. It was like, oh, shit, we're in Madison Square Garden. I'm used to going and seeing, the Knicks or the circus. When I was a little kid, you go see the circus in the Garden. I'm like, oh, shit, I'm on stage. And I looked up, and I'm like, oh, it's like 30,000 people in front of you to come see hip-hop. So moving on, Andre Harrell decided to start his own company. He says, Kurt, I'm starting my own company. I'm going to bring you aboard. So first he tried me at publicity. I was horrible. He tried me at some marketing shit. I was horrible. But,
Why were you horrible? Like, what did you have to do?
Well, first of all, publicity, you have to be a certain person to do publicity.
A talker, a convincer.
They
got to be in your face.
You got to take a lot of punishment because the artists will step on you because you're the first people that they see.
Yeah.
When you go to a record company, back in those days, it was publicity. I'm not trying to be on some chauvinistic shit, but it was mostly women.
Yeah.
So Andre was like, yo, you do it. And I was like, yo, I can't do this shit. Then I tried to do road manager. I was Heavy's road manager for a year and a half. They loved me, but I was chasing the chicks. Yo, what's Kurt at? The money's that way. This nigga's running that way. Like, what's going on?
So you said, screw Heavy D, I gotta get the girls?
So Hev was like, yo, we love Kurt. We love Kurt to death, bro, but we gotta get this nigga up off the road. But forget about the money. This motherfucker might disappear and get hijacked somewhere or some shit. Like, we in Alabama, this nigga's still in Tennessee. So they were like, so that was so Dre said, Kurt, I'm gonna give you a shot because you my man. And I'll never forget that. I'm gonna give you a shot. We got a bunch of tapes in here. Nobody don't want to listen to this shit. And it was like 2 or 3 boxes full of tape. I need you to listen to every single one of those tapes. And I was like, cool. So I put the shit in the corner, everybody doing work. I'm sitting there, bouncing to the music and shit. And about 5 hours later, he said, you listen to every one? I said, yeah. He says, anything good? I said, yeah, something good. I never forget this. One of them was EPMD.
Wow.
And the other one was Renee and Angela.
Wow.
So I played it for him. He was like, yo, Kurt, you're pretty cool at this. You're good at this A&R shit. I was just digging through boxes, listening to shit. I didn't know if I was good or not. So he said, I'm gonna make you the A&R.
Wow.
I was like, what's that? And I was like, artist repertoire.
Artist repertoire.
I said, what the fuck, what is that? What the fuck does that mean? You know what I'm saying? So basically, he made me A&R. So I'm sitting there, I got a little desk and shit. I got my little phone and shit. So I'm an executive. So somebody says, this kid named Father that's coming to see you. I said, Father who? Father what? He said, Father MC, he's from Queens. So I said, okay, come down. Now, Father's gonna deny this shit. But when he first came, I was like, I don't know, huh? Father, you gotta get better, come back. Come back. Father, you got to get better. Come back. 'Cause he just wasn't there. I said, Father, bro, like, you're almost there, but he kept coming back. Didn't get discouraged.
What was he missing, though? What do you think he was missing?
I thought his lyrical content and punch words didn't hit. I thought that, wasn't completely there. Now, Father might get a little mad at me, but I'm gonna say it anyway. When we actually did decide to release his record, which everybody does, he had ghostwriters to help him out. So, that's, I think, got him over the top. But writers do that. Rappers like Jay-Z has ghostwriters. Dr. Dre has ghostwriters. Matter of fact, the kids from Philly, I knew all of them. And I think it was called Major Figaz. They wrote for everybody.
Oh my
God.
Yo!
So,
oh my God, Kurt, you about to fuck
that's Gilly and all them.
Oh my God, Kurt, I'm glad I didn't say this shit. Kurt about to fuck
Well, we might have to X that out because I might be spilling too much shit.
No.
But
because people be concerned, because people be denying things, because I always tell people this. I be like, yo, when they do things, I say, do you collaborate? Is my first thing to no. I swear to God.
You ill with the verbiage.
And I'll be like, yo,
let me tell you something,
and I'll be like, yo,
man.
if you're not writing with other people, I'm like,
let me tell you something.
You're not gonna get to where you're trying to go.
I've never met an artist. I don't think I've ever worked with an artist that didn't co-write. Maybe Jodeci. I don't know. I'm trying to. Maybe Jodeci wrote their own shit, but
they don't know all the people you even work. Finish the story,
Yeah,
we gotta get something
I'm gonna keep going. So I'm gonna stick with Father right now. So Father's trying. He's coming every day. He comes on time. He comes with his people. They're all cool. They don't cause no problems. So one day we moved to Brooklyn. No, we moved from Brooklyn to Manhattan, right? And one day somebody says, Kurt, there's a guy named Corey Rooney and Mark Morale is here to see you. I said, why does that sound familiar? I said, oh, Mark from the Fat Boys, right? I said, where they at? They downstairs. They can't get up. You got to bring them up because they had new rules. You have to go and get your guests and bring them up. I went downstairs. I went out there, and I saw this Porsche. It was a blue Porsche, but it looked like it got kind of, edged up a little bit. I was like, that must be their car. So they came out. They have almost tipped Kurt, man. Nobody want to fuck with us, man. Nobody want to work with us, man. So I said, man, come on, man. Come up to the office. They started playing me some stuff. I was like, yo, this is pretty good. So I said, this is a great opportunity for Father. He's from Queens. They're from Queens. So I said, look, I got this rapper named Father MC. He's up and coming, needs a little bit of work, but I think you guys could work together. So I sent Father out there. And I said, how it's going? It's going great. It's funny, I only went out there one time, and I'm explaining why. So they went out there, started working. After that, Mary was out there. Then Mary started going out there. Then what happened with Mary was nobody was paying attention to her. I mean, I'm gonna get to Mary J. Blige in a minute, but all that stuff, people, I knew she was gonna be a superstar from the beginning. I said, nigga, no, you didn't. You know what I'm saying? Father, he started going out there, and shit started working. So they put these records together, and it was the first time people had a chance to see Jodeci and Mary J. Blige. I forget Jodeci's records. Mary had a record called I'll Do For You. And everybody was like, yo, them acts is dope. Now, Father got his shit together. He was rapping better. He had a gold record and a gold single. So Father came through. So that's kind of like the Father story. He's the first artist that I kind of signed.
On Uptown.
On Uptown. That I signed.
Okay.
Before that, we had Hev was a star. Then Albie Shaw came. He was actually a roadie for Heavy. Albie Shaw came. He won this thing called, I think it was the Sony.
Yeah, that Sony
the
thing.
Sony something, Sony Innovators.
Where you just have voice and all of that thing.
And Quincy Jones kind of orchestrated the whole thing, and he was real cool with Dre.
What did Andre think after you did that with Father?
He was like, yo, this is good. He thought I had a niche for A&R. Because we would ride around, it was this guy named Gary Harris, God bless his soul. He was like a music, impresario. He knew music, whether it was pop, rock, R&B, whatever it was, he knew. And we would get in the car. But he had this real, antagonistic, vibe. You just start getting arguments with him in 2 seconds flat. So we would sit in the car arguing, debating about who's this and who's that and that. And he said, yo, I gotta give it to this nigga. He kind of know music. He knows this.
He talking about you?
Yeah, he was talking about me. So Dre was like, Kurt, how you know all this? I said, yo, when I was a kid, my mother didn't let us go outside. I grew up, before I moved uptown in the Bronx, I lived on 153rd Street and 3rd Avenue. Back in the 60s and 70s, they was having race wars, all type of shit. So my mother ain't let me go out. So I just listened to the radio all day.
But let me ask you a real question. What was it about you that although you wasn't doing what you were supposed to do in the positions that they had given you, that they kept you around?
Because I was Andre's man. Like, one thing I'm gonna tell you about Dre always gave you a shot. I'm gonna tell you something, people gonna get upset. They can get upset. When Puff first came in the door, a lot of people didn't, like, what is this kid? Like, he dances, he wears these polka dot shirts, he got a Gumby haircut. He didn't fit hip hop. He looked more like a dancer. So when he first came in, people didn't know. But Puff, came in and we gave him a shot. When Puff first came in, Heavy called me and said, yo, Kurt, I got this kid named Puffy. I said, what the fuck kind of name is that? So I said, okay, go ahead, Heavy. Let me tell me a little about it. Well, he really wants to get on. Something telling me Dre was too busy to talk to him. He would naturally call Dre first. But he called me and said, yo, Hev, any friend of yours is a friend of mine. Come on in. And that was the whole Uptown thing. Like, we didn't turn on each other. Like, oh, you fucked up, you out. Oh, you a sucker, you don't know what the fuck. We didn't do that in the very beginning. Everybody stood with everybody, because nobody's perfect. Let me tell you something. Every artist, every exec that was at Uptown had to learn. Even Dre, it took Dre a long time, not a long time, but it took Dre a decent amount of time to learn to run a label and how it worked. As a matter of fact, there was one time when Dre brought us downstairs in the basement. This was in Brooklyn. And he was like, yo, guys, there's no more money. All the money's gone. We had signed, he had a production deal, and it was a compilation album. We had 5 artists, right? It was Heavy, Brothers Black, they were from Queens. Finesse and Quest, they were from Queens, Left Rack. Groupie Chill, and Marley Marl had like a record on there. And he kind of produced some of the records. The only one that worked was Hev, but we put records out on Brothers Black, Finesse and Quest. We spent a lot of money. Finesse and Quest.
I know about Finesse and Quest.
And when I think it was Woody Rock, we did a single. But then he had an office. He was paying people. We had an office space. So after a while, that money accumulates. So if your income is 5, but your expenses are 10, you're gonna run out of money. But it's all designed that way. The record industry is designed that way from Jump Street. Whereas you'll spend $1 million, or they'll give you a $2 million deal. Now, being from the hood, $2 million is a lot of fucking money. If you never ran a company, your father didn't run a company, $2 million is a lot of money. But then when you start running up those expenses, it's like, okay, you had a $2 million budget, you had this month for you to make your records, but you only made that much. But we ain't gonna, it's cool. We're gonna keep doing it, but you know what? To keep everything going, we need you to do 3 more years of this. So what happens is the record label, MCA, Warner Brothers, RCA, but this is Bertelsmann at that time, they're getting the majority of the money. So let's say if a record does 1 million units, they're getting $5 to $6 a unit. You got to pay back the expenses to make the record, pay back the expenses for the video. You're probably getting maybe 16 points. You got to get an artist some points. They're getting 8 to 9 points. And when the record sells, they're pissed off because they ain't make no money. So it's all a little bit of a scheme. The worst scheme going on, I'll get back on track with the Uptown stuff, is the streaming shit is ridiculous. It's like sticking people up without a pistol. Because they're making 3 times the amount of money that they made when records were selling. There's a friend of mine, and I'll mention his name because he told me, it's cool. Bob Celestin is a really high-level attorney.
Bob gonna be on the show, that's my man.
Yeah,
Bob is a high-level attorney. He and I are close friends. He said that the record labels are making double to thrice, 3 times the money they were making in the heyday. You know what I'm saying?
And they're pretending like they're not.
But you know that's cap because of what the record exec told me and you to my face that one single keeps the lights on. And I was on this show, Kurt. I was on another show last year and I told everybody, I said, when streaming is out, when you sign to a major, they get 79% of the streaming. The percentage that you see is 21%. So when they're saying
I don't
you
even
got
say it's that.
No, but that's before expenses. That's what it's supposed to be. So like what I also said on this show, I said, you never know what the record label's doing. You only know what the fuck they tell you. You never know what's really happening.
I mean, the realest question is, how do you get 1 billion streams and you don't get $1 million? Because $1 million is closer to $1 than it is to a billion.
I know
All right,
that.
let me tell you what the problem is.
Yeah.
It depends on what type of deal you cut. If you cut a really bad deal just to get in the door, that's why, okay, some people like Cardi B and this was his kid, Ace Boogie with the hoodie, they have music already out that was big. So they cut their deals and they were able to get better deals. So they make some money off the publisher.
Because you're worth something now.
Yeah, your value.
But some of the people that couldn't cut better deals, or the worst part about it is, I'm not going to mention any names, but you have artists that might have signed 10, 15, 20 years ago. They never make money, but they'll say, you know what? It's okay. It's no problem. Here's $2 million. Give us 4 more albums. And guess what? Once, twice. So they'll give you, over like a 10-year period, like 5 or 6 million, but you're handling these albums, you already got a fan base, and they're going to make the majority of the money. And then when you finally get to the point where you're not selling anymore, you're out.
Done.
You know, I'm going to tell you the key, and we'll get back on point with the Uptown stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say you put a single out. Single does well. You put out an EP. EP does well, streaming, right? You don't make any money, but you're getting a fan base. About a year ago, people started to do NFT. Why can't you take that philosophy of an NFT, but instead of having it connected to Bitcoin, have it connected to dollars? So let's say you take Cardi B. Cardi B puts out a couple of singles. She puts out an album, and it's all streamed. But one day she wakes up and says, hey, my real fans, I'm getting jerked. Support me, help me. I'm going to give you more music. I'm going to give you more in my package. You're going to have pictures and videos that you've never seen before. And I'm only doing it for... Say what?
Ryan Leslie.
Yeah. 500,000. You may say, okay, after 1 million units, that's it. But if you sell it for $20, you made 20 million. But they sign these deals where they don't do it, or they make so much money touring and merch. For example, Cardi B gets millions from product endorsement, sponsorship. She makes tons of money doing shows. So you forget about that money. But that could be 20 million. But getting back on track. So Corey Rooney and Mark Morales, Father MC, Puffy, who else? It was Father MC, somewhat Jodeci, Corey Rooney, Mark Morales, and who else? And Mary J. Blige. That was a whole setting that went out to Queens, right?
That's crazy.
And they were working on the record.
Puffy, Corey, Mary, Mark, Father MC.
It was all going out to Queens. And the funny shit was,
That's
because
crazy.
Puffy was my intern, and I was so busy running around doing whatever the crazy shit I was doing. I was like, yo, Puff, I only went out there one time. I was like, yo, Puff, go do your thing, nigga. Yeah, good job, yeah. You know what I'm saying? And he was out there moving shit.
He was
running.
working his ass off,
Yeah,
right?
he was doing what he had to do. And he came out with a really good album with Father and Senior went gold. Let me tell you something. When Mary first came up and signed, she was kind of sitting there for a year. Some of it was our fault, and some of it was the label's fault. But it wasn't like automatic Hall of Fame Mary J. Blige. I'm not taking anything away from her. It was actually the management company and the label that was dragging their feet because they didn't know what to, well, actually, we didn't know what to do with Mary.
They didn't think she had the look, right? Was that
It wasn't
the problem?
the look. Okay, the problem was the music industry was making a transition from R&B where chicks was wearing dresses, like sequins dresses and heels and, looking all pretty and cute. But then started to come hip hop. There was a song called Don't Make Me Over that had a hip hop beat. But the woman that was singing it, which I can't remember her name.
Williams is her last name.
She didn't, I forget, but she didn't fit the image. So when Mary came out, Puff said, you know what? Let her be what she is. She's a girl from the hood. Let's make it that. Matter of fact, her original name was Mary J. Blige, the queen of the ghetto. Mary's mother called and said, I'll kill all you niggas if you call my daughter
the queen of the
ghetto. Yo, don't call her the queen of the ghetto. Right? I was like, okay, Miss Blige. She was from Yonkers, like Slowbound. I was like, yo, no problem. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to come up there. I don't know if you ever been in Slowbound in Yonkers, but anyway, I was like, yo, okay, we're going to X that out. So she's just Mary
What's it like over there, Ghost? Because Ghost from... Okay.
Now, what happened with Mary was, basically, Mary J. Blige was discovered by Jeff Redd. Jeff Redd was actually the first artist that was signed to my management company. We'll get into that in a minute. Because I was still at Uptown, had a management company. It was a conflict of interest, but I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah, you got away with it.
I actually didn't get away with it. And I'm going to explain why it was a conflict of interest, but why I did it.
You can't do that.
But what happened was, when Mary came through Jeff, they worked at some plant up in White Plains or some shit up in Westchester. I think it was a GM plant. So Mary's father told Jeff, I got this, my daughter could sing. So I said, okay, cool. They told a friend of mine, partner Reggie, and Charlie Davis continued to be my partner, for a few years, but not about 5 or 6 years. So we went up to Slowbound Projects, and there's a whole crazy story about that too, I'll get to. But we went up there, and this girl comes out. She's got a ponytail. She starts singing like a church lady, like incredible. I was like, yo, we got to work with her. Now, I'm going to tell you something that happened, and Mary and I don't speak about this. I mean, don't speak because of this, but I'm going to tell you the real story. We went to Slowbound, and we couldn't get in through the front. The front was locked, right? We went through the back. Now, if you know anything about Yonkers, you have one side of Yonkers that's super well taken care of, and one side that's bad. Back then, it was horrible. So they didn't collect the garbage. So it took us a long time just to maneuver through the garbage. The elevator didn't work. We had to go up the steps. When we got to Mary's apartment, it was immaculate. Her apartment was immaculate, like clean. You guys want water? Immaculate. What happened was we were interviewed by Ebony Magazine about close to 10 years ago. And I don't do a lot of interviews. So they interviewed me, and a friend of mine called me and says, Kurt, man, why you dog Mary like that? I said, what are you talking about? They put the shit, like we couldn't get to the front door. It took us 20 minutes to get through the garbage in the back. I said, they didn't say anything about when we got to the apartment. She sang well. They were very hospitable. Her apartment was clean. No, nigga, they didn't say that. Why you dog Mary like that? And then somebody called me a couple of days, yo, Mary's pissed. That nigga Kurt is always mad. And I want to tell her so bad, yo, that's not what happened. And secondly, your environment doesn't dictate who you are. You was in that environment because you grew up there. It's not because of who you are. You moved on and did great shit, and you're big. But I'll never forget that. A friend of mine called me and said, yo, dude, you look crazy because you just talking bad shit. I said, no, I didn't say. That's like 30% of the interview. I said how well she sang this. I said, nigga, they took all that out.
That's how they cut it, because the controversy is what makes it move. And that's what we pride ourselves, that we don't really, we don't rock with the controversy and nothing like that. And that's why I think the dude recommended that you come and be on the show with us. And
yeah, to get a lot of shit out there. But that's one thing I wanted to get out in the air.
But what about Mary, though, before you go on, because you got so much that we got to get from you, pause. What separates Mary from everybody else?
Mary had a rough life when she was young. She had it pretty tough. I think Mary knew this is my calling. This is something I have to go from beginning to end. I gotta be, we used to go pick Mary up, boom, right outside waiting, quiet. Go in the studio, boom, quiet. Mary, sing this, ba-da-da-da-da-da, knock it out. And we had this vocal coach, his name was Kevin Ryan. We used to go out like 150-something Jamaica Queens. It was like, you know all the used car dealers used to be back in the day? And Jamaica Queens off of
off
Jamaica.
the avenue,
Yeah,
off Jamaica Avenue.
Yeah, off the Jamaica Avenue, but
Yeah,
it's
it's more
a little
on
further
Parsons
down.
side. Yeah, it's more on Parsons
She
side.
lived, they used to live right there. And this guy was so dope with Mary. Like, that's it, Mary, you got it. Oh, girl, that was... And he was the best vocal coach, vocal director ever. He was very instrumental in getting Mary from A to Z because she was very shy and laid back. But he kind of got her out of her shell. But Mary was ridiculously on point. I think in her heart, she was like, yo, there's something here that's me. There's something here that people can't take. This is my chance. Out of all the stuff she'd been through, all the shit that she's seen, I really felt that she felt like this is my chance. Like this is what God has given me. This is my path. And that was really it. I mean, she was a really good singer. She had a good look. You know, she wasn't a beauty queen, but she was pretty and she had an appealing look and she was approachable. But she never beefed. You don't know, it was just doing a lot of that stuff might have came a little later, but she was always on point. Not beefing, not complaining. I remember one time we did a show and it was for Urban Network and there was a note. And I was like, I don't know if she's gonna hit the note. I don't know if she can. Mary, you think you can hit the note? Says Kurt, I can hit the note. So we get upstairs, up on stage. There's like 2,000 or 3,000 people up there, all record execs. West Coast, East Coast, South. Every radio station is represented. And we had a little bit of a time with the record. Mary jumped up on stage with a baseball hat, a Tim's and all, and the girls jumped up there, they had their baseball hats, they was dancing and moving and stuff. And then when she started singing, I knew, yo, they're gonna love her. Because the radio people figured that this is what my constituents want. This is what my customers, this is what my listeners want. Somebody that looks and represents them. And then when it came in that note, I was like, yo, she knocked it out. She always came to the table. So just to answer your question, I just think, first of all, she was very easy to work with. In the beginning, she was incredible. Like,
she seemed hungry as hell too.
But not that type of way, like just on point, show up on time, get to the studio. Like, I don't want to do that. She just did it. You know what I'm saying? Number two, I just think that she felt this was her destiny.
Destiny.
But, you know, Corey Rooney started working with Mary, and then you had Dave Hall, who came from Eddie F's camp. They started working on the record. And somebody was like, yo, Kurt, this record is dope. And I was hearing it like, yo, it's dope. So I said, yo, we probably do gold, maybe platinum. And everybody was like, nah, you bugging. This is going to do 2 or 3 million. It's going to do this and that. And it did 4. But I was always reserved, and I didn't want to, like, kind of hype stuff up, but I knew it was going to be a big record. But I'm going to tell you guys a story. When we first came out with the record, I had a friend, actually it was a friend of mine, somebody I was dating over at Epic. And I called and said, yo, how we doing? And I was expecting, oh, you're doing great. He said, not too good. So what you mean not too good? He said, look, you're supposed to have 30 ads. Back in those days, you had ads. Like every radio station was an ad.
They had to add your record.
You had to get a certain amount of ads before you could move on and get on the list.
National level.
On the national level, the lists, on the charts. Actually, not list, the charts. So what happened was, when we first came out with the record, it wasn't doing that great. And I've never worked so hard the next day. Says, Kurt, you got 11, supposed to be at 30. You only got 2 weeks. The next day, man, I got up 6 in the morning. I didn't have no cell phone. I just went and bought a bunch of cards, went to the bank and got a bunch of quarters and just started calling like, yo, what's up? How come this shit ain't working? I mean, it was like 10 degrees out. I'm on pay phones calling. I finally got hold of Dre. I said, Dre, I love you like a brother, but if this doesn't work, we got to bounce. This is Kurt. Nah, I see what you're saying. I don't want to lose no more artists because Jeff Red, which I'll get to in a minute, He was on the label. He had a huge single called You Called and Told Me. It was #3 in New York, and we couldn't get past 74 on the charts. And I found out what happened was MCA, Black Department, wasn't pushing our records because they felt that if Uptown would blow up, they would be out of jobs. Because then Uptown would represent the Black Department.
The Black Department.
And we could get rid of all you guys with your crazy high salaries and hire them. So they didn't work our records. So what happened was Dre called Al Teller, who was the head of the label at the time, he was the chairman, complained. And I was on the phone, said, Kurt, don't say a word. They don't say anything, just listen. I remember Al Teller said, man, I'm tired of you calling me with this shit. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna send you something. If you guys can't make it work with that shit, don't ever call me. Boom. He didn't even say don't call me again. He said don't ever, boom, and hung up. I think he sent Dre about 100 grand. Jimmy Jenkins, who was the head of the promotion department, got Mel Smith out of Houston because Mel didn't want to be in Houston
Mel
anymore.
Smith.
So Mel came up. The rest was history. We got 20 ads. The record just took off. But if another 2 weeks of not getting the ads, there would be no Mary J. Blige.
Wow.
I would say, not I'm gonna say it wouldn't be, but
It would have been hard
it
to
would have been
survive.
tough. It would have been tough.
When did the light click on for you that you had been through all this and you was the nerd, now you in the spot with all the chicks and everything, you ain't chasing them down. When did the executive light click on for you?
I was just Dre's man, trying to help him out, trying to make music, trying to do shit. But when we was in LA and we were driving, and all of a sudden the radio says, #1, there's #1. I'm listening. And Mary's record played. That's when I knew, we got the #1 record in LA. I was like, and I could look at the back car and they jumping up and down and celebrating and shit. And I was like, this shit is real. And this is like probably about 4 years after we first started.
Okay.
Now we had other success. Father single went gold. But it was kind of common. And I'm not trying to brag or boast, but when you hanging with Russell, when you're 18, 19 years old, 20 years old, everything works. Run DMC had platinum records. LL.
Beastie.
Beasties. And you're around all this shit, so that's the standard. You know what I'm saying? You don't look at it like, oh, well, we sold 100,000. 100,000, that's a failure. This shit is standard. So when we moved on to Uptown, it was standard. So, it wasn't a big deal when Father went gold. Matter of fact, I was like, are we gonna go platinum, gold, that's it? Like, what the? Jeff Redd, who was the first artist I worked with, his album did about 150 to 2. And we looked at that as not doing that well. And I called MCA, was like, we gonna do better. 200,000, we'll take that. Because they made $1 million. You know what I'm saying? But to us, I'm not gonna say it was a failure, but it wasn't what we were used to.
Standard.
So when that shit said #1, I was like, but before that, it was just, and I'm not bragging or boasting, it was just common shit.
What did Puffy bring to the table?
I'm gonna tell you something. When Puff first came in, I was like, this dude here is crazy. He used to jump on the train and hide in the bathroom from DC to New York so he wouldn't have to pay the fare because they didn't have the money. So I said, look, man, I'm gonna call Dre, I'm gonna call Bob, because Bob was the general manager, and get you some money. So we got him some money. So one day I see this dude pull up in this new Volkswagen and shit. It's got a white top, burgundy, got a couple of cute chicks in the car. He's fresh and shit. And I'm looking at this, I say, where you get this money from? Because I know we ain't paying you that much. Where you get this money from, right? So he says, I'm go out to the beach. They have shit like Freaknik and all this other stuff. I make shirts. I got 5 guys with me. Each guy gets a certain amount of shirts. I got 2,000 shirts. I'm charging $20 a shirt. So I'm saying, wait a minute, I'm doing the math.
40,000.
I'm like, and then after he peels his people off, this nigga made 30 grand in the fucking weekend. That's when I knew he's got it. This dude got the entrepreneur spirit. Then after that, the Volkswagen got chucked off. He got a BMW, right? He run with the beanies fly. He got $200, $300 pair of glasses. And that was my man. You know, I didn't look at it like, oh shit. That was my man. So now I'm gonna get to the conflict of interest thing. So what happened was Dre had a budget, but it wasn't a high budget. But he had people to take care of his moms and his brother. Right? He had to take care of his mom. But I won't go into his brother's situation, but he had to hold his family down. And I understood that because we were tight. So I said to him, I didn't say to him, I said to myself, well, I'm gonna manage a couple of artists. This guy named Reggie Johnson came to me. I met him in the Bronx. He told me about Mary, Jeff, and another artist they was working with. So I said, okay, cool, let's work together. So I figure if I'm not gonna get paid the money I'm supposed to get, because this is what I was told, that I was supposed to get a certain amount of money, but I didn't get that, what I was supposed to get. And I figured, well, Dre gotta hold his family down. So I'll take care of myself. So I figured I'll manage the artists. So one day I get a call, 3 artists, not the whole team, but 3. And I was told that, look, man, it's a conflict of interest. You can't work here and manage the artists. So you gotta do one of 2 things. You gotta go ahead and keep the artists and you can leave. Or you can stay, but all the artists has to come with me. So I said, well, let me think about it. I'll have an answer over the weekend. So I called my cousins and this, that, and another. And one of my cousins said, he was in the street with Alpo and all that. He said, look, man, I don't know if you're ever gonna get the respect as a businessman. You'll get respect as a friend, but you might never get respect as a businessman if you stay. You could always come back, but it might be time for you to bounce. So okay, I took that in consideration. I said, you know what, Dre, I got an idea. Why don't you bring the whole company in and we'll work with an Uptown? I said, no, I don't want them, I just want you. But I couldn't turn my back on the people that brought me Mary. And so I said, so I came in the next day, I said, yo, I'm out. And he looked at me and his eyes popped out like he didn't expect that.
Like that too. I didn't expect that.
He didn't expect that, so I left. Now the funny thing is, myself being able to leave, I learned the management game. I was able to work with Mary. Now I'm gonna tell you a funny story. About a year later, Andre called me about a job at Columbia. And I got that. He sent other people, but he sent me and I got the job. So a lot of stuff I was exposed to, I wouldn't have been exposed to if I would have stayed. So I think that was a good move for me. We still became friends, stayed friends. I was up there almost every day anyway. But my cousin was right. It was time for me to go. And I wasn't gonna, keep hitting, I want money. Yo, dude, I know what you gotta do. You gotta hold your moms down on your brother. So I bounced.
Can we jump ahead to the quality of A&R? What happened to the A&R position?
Okay.
Why it's not revered? Why they don't do the work? What do you, in your perspective?
Well, there's a bunch of things. Number one, it's not about the music anymore, it's about popularity. And I'm not disrespecting like Ice Spice. But I remember back in the day, I don't know if Ice Spice would have won a project contest. You used to have contests in the projects and who would be the best rapper, in Slowbound or Hamilton, a 40 project, and who's the best rapper. She wouldn't have came in 3rd place out of all the chicks. I don't think so back in the day. I'm not trying to shit on her, I'm just being real. But the people around her had money. The people around her understood the game. And when she started to get a little bit of leverage out there, they didn't want to miss out, so they grabbed it. And I'm using her as an example because I don't think it's the best records or the best talent. And she had the concept of the record was good. But answering your question, there's no need for development. Because you could go out there and there's gonna be somebody who wants to be on the red carpet, or they see the money, or a combination of both, that want to get out there and they find some kid and say, look, man, I got money. Here's some money, sign the paperwork. I'm gonna be the manager, I'm gonna be the production company. I got my team, you got your team, let's go. Sometimes it work out, sometimes it don't. But to me, that's how it kind of goes on. They get it out there because they got the money. And it's not about who's the most talented person, who's the most popular, who got the most money. For example, if you're going to YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, if you ain't got $3,000 to $5,000, you're done. Unless you have some type of gimmick, and that's 1 out of 1,000 people, you're done. Because YouTube don't give a fuck. They want their money. Instagram don't care. They want their money. TikTok wants their money. Spotify, these playlists, the playlists that mean anything, they want to get paid. I'm not putting you on my playlist. This is how it works. Unless you just got a great record, you just get out in the streets yourself.
We had a meeting outside, Esso and myself, and they're just like, just for a top playlist, it's 80,000 for what, 6 weeks?
For 6 weeks?
Yes.
5 weeks. It was like 5 weeks.
Yes.
It was some
80 grand?
astronomical.
Yes.
It was an astronomical number. And I'm going to be honest with you, Kurt. If you go to the playlist, all the same songs is in all the top playlists. Every playlist that you go to. And I started paying attention because I made a playlist for BagFuel a long time ago, but I never really like changed the songs or put no work into it. And that's a big mistake of mine.
Think about what you said. Every record is on the same playlist. What does that remind you of? If on radio,
Every song.
every song, the same songs after
Every
2
commercial.
months, right? Same songs in Chicago, same songs in LA, same songs in Texas, same songs. It's all these motherfuckers talk to each other. All these dudes got, how much you got? What that nigga gave you? 80? Oh shit, I ain't taking less than so-and-so when he get here. It's all a game. And when it goes to the major labels, they know, they'll tell you, look, we'll give you this money, but we need you to play these records. And the radio stations, it's not like independent like they used to be, where you had a guy owning 5 stations, another guy owning 3, another guy owning 10. You got like these conglomerates that own like 1,000 stations, like 2 of them. I think it's
Conglomerate.
Yeah, conglomerate. I said the wrong way, conglomerate. But it's crazy. But to answer your question about A&R, there's no use for them. Who got the biggest numbers? Not who can make the best records, who can put together the best image, who can get the best songwriters. It's about who got the most popularity. Number 2, a lot of the guys who were good, who came up and made a name for themselves, they like, yo, I'm not taking this 200 grand. I could make 200,000 a month just doing this shit myself. So a lot of these guys are breaking out, getting their own companies. Like, what's this kid from Brooklyn? Brooklyn Johnny or something like that. The A&R cat that has something to do with Cardi B. Yo, he started doing little tours, going on radio. Next thing you know, he got his own label. Scooter Braun, the white kid who I think he managed Justin Bieber. He could have went to any label and said, yo, he could have walked in, knocked on the door. Who are you? I'm Scooter Braun. I want to run your shit. Half hour later, he running the company. Yeah, that's how strong he was. He went and got his own money. He did his own shit because it doesn't make sense. You could go and do your own thing. One thing good about today, you have companies outside of music. During our time, it was only music. That's like, MCA, RCA, Def Jam, Columbia.
You're saying that we'll invest into music.
Now you have companies that have nothing to do with the major labels that invest in companies.
That's the new wave that I see is coming around now, that these regular companies that got a lot of money are just coming to these rappers or these singers saying, yo, I got $300,000 for you right now. And you can put out a project because whatever you get back.
But you know why?
They propping crazy.
You know why? Let's say you're an artist and you're here and you work yourself here, right? Just the sponsorship alone can be big. I got a jean company. I'm making these jeans. And let's say you got Meg Thee Stallion,
Sexy
Cardi
Red.
B, whoever. Yeah, and they throw these jeans on, all these chicks is gonna go run and buy them. So if you paying them 50 million or 20 million or whatever it might be, they're gonna make billions after these chicks don't wear it. Look at Puff. Yo, let me tell you something, bro. Puff's deal with Ciroc is ridiculous. Some of the people that was involved, and they were brothers. I'm happy Puff kept it black. There was these brothers that were business people. They had a meeting, and the guy said, yo, you know what? We usually do 12 points. 15 points is out of character, but for you, Puff, we'll do 15 points. So, Puff, he's just sitting there with sunglasses, all type of shit. He said, I don't want 15 points. I said, yo, I want half. They looked at each other like, what the hell? Shit, half. So Puff said, I'll tell you what would you like to do as far as it goes by numbers? They said, anything over 30 million, we'd be happier than in jail. Anything over 30 million will be cool as fuck, right? So what happened was they looked at each other again and said, so anything under 30 million is 15%. Anything over that is 50-50. They looked, shook hands. Puff has never done under 30 million cases in 15 years. He gets half of all that Ciroc shit. Half. And let me tell you something else. I just found out a month ago. Even this shit, yo, you make a bottle and that shit stays in the warehouse, he got paid off it. It is not the shit that's selling.
How?
Anytime a bottle's made, he gets paid. Not just off the sales, he gets paid off of everything. So if you got 100,000 bottles sitting there,
He gets paid.
He getting paid off.
He getting his money in the bank.
Give him my money.
Y'all got to recoup
Yeah, but we
all
didn't
that.
sell it. I don't care.
You
Go
gotta
to the bank and go
recoup
get
all
my
that.
shit.
That's why him and Diageo's going at it, you think?
Because they don't make a bottle unless the order is filled. So somebody ordered that bottle.
But this is the thing.
Pick it up, but somebody ordered that shit, so the money is there.
No, that's true to extent. Because if you have a product that's really selling, you have to have pre-orders to the extent. But let's say there's 50,000 bottles sitting that ain't selling. They can say, yo, Puff, it didn't sell. We can't give you no money. No, go to the bank and go get my shit. But yo, dude, that's one of the most shrewdest business cats.
Being that you was part of responsibility of putting him on and giving him a shot and grooming him, what have you learned from him?
Okay, a ton of shit. Number one, you have to look at business as business. I don't come from that school. Like before I got into music, I was gonna be a counselor. So my whole DNA is helping people. Even in the A&R, I looked at it more as helping someone get on than doing business. His whole DNA is business. So sometimes you gotta say, what would Puff do in this situation? Or what would another guy that was that worked with me,
Like a
I
Russell
helped out,
Simmons?
was Jeff Robinson, who had Alicia Keys.
Oh, yeah, Jeff.
And who had
Jeff was with y'all back then too?
yeah, well, Jeff actually, he wasn't an intern, but he used to come around a lot and be around and do stuff. But he'll say he kind of learned with us. And I mean, I would say, and we're about the same age, but he won't say that, but we're about the same age. But he came under us. But I would say, what would he do? So I learned from Puff, like, okay, when there's certain things that you naturally would not do, you're never gonna go too far off of who you are. But sometimes you gotta take a different energy because there's business. A lot of this stuff is straight business. So I looked at him and say, wow, how do we handle this? Number two, you gotta keep going. You gotta keep going. You're gonna fall. You're gonna trip, you're gonna fall, you're gonna get a bloody nose. You're gonna get those days where it's like, yo, I can't do shit. Now, a day or two, that's cool. But you can't take off like weeks and months because shit is not right. He keeps going no matter what. I mean, he had the incident at City College, some other shit, the shit that happened with him and J-Lo.
Some other shit.
Some other shit. And he just kept going. Kept going. And last but not least, and this was my intern, and I'm studying him, but he looks up past the clouds. He looks past the clouds. Like Ciroc was past the clouds. You know what I'm saying? Like you're getting half, he designed the bottle, all that shit, that's past the clouds. It took a long time to get there, but think about it. You had Oprah that had her own TV shit. Didn't work. Magic fell apart in weeks. Well, they didn't let Bill have a chance. You know, I'm not gonna get into the politics of that. But he had his own television shit and it's doing great. It took a long time. It's doing good. And they kind of sabotaged that. 'Cause I remember when Revolt first came out, you couldn't see it nowhere.
Yeah.
They had that shit, like, the distributors had that shit sunken in. The reason why they can't do it now is because you have too many distribution channels.
Yeah. A lot of devices, a lot of ways to get
He
content.
looks past the clouds, bro. He don't look here, he looks past the clouds. Clothing, past the clouds. Spirits, music, marketing, he looks past the clouds.
What are you doing right now?
Okay, that's a good question. I have a company called Music For You, and I'm explaining how that whole thing works. There's a young lady I'm working with named Victoria Dennis, and her family, fortunately, has, their income, they have a decent amount of money. And we start to go and promote. And I'm looking at them saying, damn, we got to spend tons of money just to get our stuff out on this. This is YouTube. So I said, how the hell these people do this shit? Like 4,000 or 5,000 a month. That's what the average person after taxes will bring home. And these kids are, they're 19, 18, 17. Unless you out in the street hustling, you ain't got the money for that. And even in this game today, they ain't got it. Not all of them, not like back in the day. So I say, you know what? The same way SoundCloud went out and got an audience. I said, yo, we could get an audience. Luckily for me, as a friend of mine, my partner, Charles Lewis, said, Kurt, I want to do this business thing, but I don't know if it's right for me. It was some medical shit. And this man was like, yo, Chuck, you should do music. Medical ain't you, because if you don't understand it, you're going to get wrapped up in so much of the bullshit, you're going to hit a brick wall. But you know music. So I put together a proposal, sent it to him. He loved it. We sent it to some other people. And we decided to develop this company. And what we're going to basically do is take up-and-coming artists and up-and-coming creators, and we're going to build our own audience. Just like YouTube has an audience, just like SoundCloud has an audience, just like, I give a great example. What's this brother's name? I think he's from Queens, too. Steve Stout. He started United Artists.
United Masters.
United Masters, you're right. United Masters. And basically what they did was they said, look, we'll get your music out there. We'll help you get your music out there. And they get you placements. I don't know how the success rate is, but they're supposed to get you in films and television and, soundtracks and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. He sold the company, or the company's worth $600 million, because it's all advertisement. So I said, you know what, if we can go out and
Steve is an advertising genius, though, Kurt. That's his advertising.
That's his DNA.
But you don't have to be. Let me explain.
Okay,
Let me explain.
go ahead.
This is the key. This is what we're doing. We're gonna have artists send their music. We just did a showcase about a month ago where artists performed in front of a band. We're gonna do like 3 or 4 more of those, right? And we have people put their music up, their pictures, their videos, and basically, this is a site where you could put your product up. But we're gonna get thousands to millions of people on our site. Fans, subscribers, whatever. But they're gonna have a chance to not just listen, but make comments, rate people, talk to people. It's gonna be a whole music community.
How you gonna get them up there?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna ask.
Go ahead.
Because Ghost and I have spoken. People are really set in their apps. YouTube is institutionalized, and I'm not being negative.
I'm curious.
People, they don't want to have their mind expanded too much. Even the digital service providers like Disney Plus, Netflix,
Let me tell you
Hulu, go for it, Kurt.
United Masters, you already had YouTube.
Yep.
You already had Instagram. You already had
Facebook,
Spotify. You already had Apple, and plus another 10 more. Here comes United Masters, and they got so many followers and subscribers and all this other shit. They're not doing anything that different. People want to join app. If you're a music fan, you'll just...
They're just distributing.
Yeah, but...
They're distributing to the Spotify, to the Apple, to you.
But you still got people listening.
Yes.
And when you got...
You're trying to get them to come to you to listen. They're listening there. They're already...
It doesn't matter.
They're just bringing it to the people and putting it... They're curating the content.
But it doesn't matter. As long as you have something where the people will come, they'll come.
Are you?
There are people that are stuck
I
in their
think.
ways right now.
I think that he's looking for the route of, instead of using the marketing dollars, right, to market this one artist, I'm gonna bring all of these people here, and we're gonna use the marketing dollars to create.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna have artists.
So the money I'm spending out there, like you're saying, that people don't know where I'm at and they don't know where to find me. I'm using this money so they can find me and know where I'm at and facilitate other things that the bigger companies ain't.
There has to be three levels to it. You need the artists and the creators, people who producers, artists, people who do graphic work, or creators. That's the first level. The second level is going to be the fans, right? People that's going to go on to subscribe, go on to listen to the music, check out the videos. Point, you got a great point. Why are they going to come? You have to have them involved. Not just go there.
You want the fans to work.
The fans are going to make, no, let me tell you something. Hold on.
This is what it comes, this is what it sounds.
No, let me tell you something.
You pull up, it's like,
When
you want me to go on your shit.
Okay,
Nah,
if
I'm
you-
already on YouTube.
let me tell you something. But you have to do both. You have to promote on YouTube and Instagram and bring those people there. Because if you ever look at some of the posts, for example, this is one thing I saw about maybe a couple of days ago. And it was Andre 3000 saying how artists today don't want to do art. They want to make money. They don't care about the art. Yo, you had so many comments. Yo, that old nigga should just sit down and let us do what we doing.
Standard.
Because to them, that's hard, what they're doing, to be honest.
Yes.
It might be shitty, it might be whack. They think it's hard.
But the point is, because people want to make comments, you had 300 comments, 200. All you got to do is get it out there and have content that people want to see and talk about. It's not going to happen overnight. But
I
they'll
mean, that's
come.
the new way, but
what I'm saying is,
it's hard. But I'm
I
gonna be,
disagree.
but what I'm gonna keep it real with you about is everybody's talking about this right now. So I'm not gonna say it's crazy because I worked with a company called Slide that was doing this before everybody was doing it. It seemed crazy. They had Partisan Fontaine on it. They was paying me monthly. We was flying around the country.
I'm about to get to that.
Robert De Niro and them, Kevin Spacey gave these niggas like 28 million. I'm talking about 10 years ago, right?
I know,
But with that outlook, it's coming back. I feel like Slide and them did it too far in advance. And right now, everybody's looking to build their own platform. Like a dude even told me to start building a whole channel of mine and bringing shows. And I'm like,
you know why?
I'm not that big enough to do that, but that's what people are doing.
It goes to what he's saying. I agree with what you're saying, but one thing that's missing, and you just gave the key point, all these companies that started, they signed a big name to drive the traffic. So if you, just like with Ciroc or whatever the liquor company, they do a Puff in. So if you pick a big artist or a content dude, I mean, listen, people are attracted to stars and names.
That's true.
People was breaking down how the nightclub works. Now, if you bring an artist through, the girls are gonna come because they all think they got a shot. Then all the drug dealers are gonna come because they want to be around the girls. It's the same system of the nightclub, what you're doing. You just need a star or a big name to drive it, in my opinion, from what I've seen work as a casual consumer.
I agree with you, but this is just my observation. I think that you got people out here, not artists and creators, but people who are fans. If you give them participation, they'll come.
Yeah, but the thing that all these apps have, other people have is convenience. So you make it convenient enough for them to be involved.
Idiot proof.
Then they're good.
That's the terminology.
But the convenience. He's a genius.
He hates the thing Threads. That's the competitor to Twitter, right?
Yeah.
He could not understand why
And he
everybody
called it though early.
And I said, it's easy. It was too easy to get on the platform. It didn't require no email. I understand, but the system showed how so many people signed up because it was easy. It's going to your point. If he gets an app that is so smooth and effortlessly, it's out of here. People don't want to do no extra email and put their credit. It's too many. What's that new app that allows you to take off all the subscriptions you have? Because people forget they're subscribed to things and they don't use them no more, and it's $5 getting taken out a month. People don't want to be like, damn, I've got like $200 coming out a month on all these service providers I'm on. And if the way you're gonna do it, just simplify it, you good.
I'm gonna ask you guys a question. I'm gonna ask y'all a question.
Yeah.
Why do you guys think SoundCloud is so big?
SoundCloud's not big anymore.
It used to be.
The reason why they failed.
They didn't fail.
Well, not fail, but
The reason why they're not on top anymore.
Because it didn't work with the labels, really. Because the labels exited them out, like, nah. Then the big artists started taking their music out there. and putting it on Spotify.
That's what I'm saying.
On stuff that the labels
But
cooperated
why
with.
was they hot when they were
They
hot?
had Chance the Rapper going over there. 2 Chainz mixtape was going over there. There was other big artists that putting their stuff up there.
I wouldn't say big, but they were known and credible.
And also,
And
too,
they were using the
I'll say to
platform.
Kurt's point, there are a
And
good,
DJs was a big factor too.
but there's a group of people that want to be the ones to say, I discovered these artists. Like there's like the first set of Drake fans, there's a different attachment. So SoundCloud was for people that could say, let me discover it before it gets pushed in my face by marketing dollars, big promotion.
There's a lot of DJs that put their mixes up there, and people finding artists through the mixes.
It was the whole rebel against the label.
That's
time,
true, too.
So
Yeah.
it was like that's the biggest factor. The people that hate the record. You know they got all these people that hate the record label.
machine.
I don't hate the record label. I feel like that the record label provides you as a bank, and banks get their money hand over fist too.
Yeah.
It's about how you learn to navigate through the system.
Okay, as far as the labels go, I mean, I say this much, man. Cardi B, through whether it was through fault or through design, she did it great.
Yeah.
Excuse me, because she put her own music out there, along with the kid Shaft, who doesn't get the credit.
Salute to
He's the-
Shaft.
He's the guy
Salute
who
to Shaft.
really
Ah,
made
That's
it
true.
happen.
That's true.
Because out of the strip club, they started doing these like kind of
Shows.
funny things because she got known through the strip club.
Yeah.
Then after that, she went on TV. What was it? Love and Hip
Love
Hop.
and hip hop.
Then she started doing these little.
She's on Instagram every day.
He was talking about
He's-
that.
he's breaking
he
that
said
down.
that.
Yeah,
He said
doing the
that.
skits and stuff.
Yeah, he
so
said
she
that.
already
He
had
said that.
millions of people. Her being black and Latin, because Dominicans
Yeah.
are black people. That helped her too. And then when she had Bodak Yellow, she could let's go to the club, but it was a build-up. You know what I'm saying? It was a build-up where she could get a better deal. So she might be 3 albums. It might have been like $2 million or 2.5, 3 to 4 albums. She's probably past that. So she wants to keep going. She could go on her own terms.
Yeah.
But for artists that are coming straight to the label, I mean,
What's your
and now they
leverage?
do 360.
I don't believe it, but
Do you think
Kurt, let
360s
me
are a
say
good
this.
thing?
I mean, you might not have a choice. Like, I mean, if somebody comes to you and says, look, I'm gonna give you 300,000, 400,000 to make your record, studio time, here's 100,000 for you to eat and live, and you don't
This
got
is your
that,
opportunity.
you don't
Yeah.
got that cat that's gonna do a fair deal with you to help you do your shit. And that's been going on for 60, 70 years. You have no choice.
That's
No
just
choice.
what it is. They wait. But for me, just so you know, even though I've been in the game, I never walked my stuff right to the label. So when I managed Rock Wilder, we had a singer
I know him. Yeah, I know
named Yummy. So I was supposed to just manage Yummy. Rock never signed nobody to a label. So instead of her being managed by me and signing to my production company, I said, yo, I manage Rock. I'm going to put it like that. I'm going to stay in the back. I'm going to get my points. I'm going to get my money. And I'm going to manage them both, right? But before I did that, I said, yo, let's do the project first. So when we came to Sylvia Rome, with this is first single, second single, third single.
The whole rollout.
This is 10 records. Rock did 6 of them. Soul Diggers did 1. Dr. Dre did 1. We came with the whole thing. This is what we're gonna need for the recording budget. So that's how I came. Even when I had Range, when they opened the doors with Rock Nation, I had that same setup. But Stargate, we did the deal through Stargate. So Stargate was like, I don't give a fuck what y'all did prior. We're the top niggas in the game. We know you, so we're gonna give you a great deal. Just get your lawyer and we're gonna do it like that. So
Can I ask you a question? How long ago was that?
when I did the Stargate thing, that was 2010. 2009 at Rock Nation. 2009.
That was kind of like the end of the regular deal. See,
Yes.
back then, and it was kind of towards the, when it was all kind of, heading out,
Yep.
where you could go into a label and say, this is what I have, this is what I'm doing, and they'll say, boom, 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 boom. Now what they'll say is, okay, that's good and great. Show us some numbers to show that it works, and then come back.
Yes.
And if you ain't got the money to do
They're
it,
not doing that, so they're gonna do a single and put that out and just see it and say that
I mean,
that's
they're not
working
doing
and
that.
then try
You
to
gotta
go
do it
to the
yourself.
company. No, I'm saying that's what the rapper's gonna do now.
Yeah.
So if you tell me that, Kurt, I'm gonna say, all right, well, I'm not gonna invest in a whole project. I'm gonna do a couple, 2, 3 records, and I'm gonna invest my money into promo and marketing, club DJs, playlists, things of that nature to get my numbers up. And then I just come right back to you and be like, give me my money.
Yeah, I mean, you talking heavy expenses though.
Yeah.
Everything you said could be about 30, 40 grand.
Yes,
Easily.
exactly.
Easy.
Exactly. Or you just sign your life away.
But think about this. But Esso, think about this. When I had mentioned the 80,000, I didn't know that number because the number before was 15,000 for 3 months.
Yeah, but that 80,000 was for top playlists, right? And it was a certain amount of time. So that's what record labels are doing.
5 weeks?
Yes.
But see, what
Yo,
the
by the
record
time
label
you get to the third week, it's just gonna be like, I'm
But
moving
then-
up, I'm moving
but
up,
Kurt,
and boom.
Kurt, you know the game. You know they manipulating numbers, Kurt. Come
Yeah, but
on,
that's not
Kurt.
enough of-
Kurt, niggas told me you the realest talker. You know
Kurt, let me tell you
niggas is
something.
manipulating numbers, Kurt.
If you give somebody 80 grand and you only got now 3 months, that could work. But 5 weeks, by the time your 80 is over, your shit.
But I'm sure that they're giving them. He didn't state that, but I'm sure they're giving them multiple records. So if
Probably juicing it, too.
That's not enough time.
If I'm per se Atlantic, no, but if that's the time that they giving them, though, Kurt.
5
They're not
weeks?
giving them that same type of time no more.
It takes 2 weeks to get the record in the system.
because they go.
So by the time you get anywhere,
up there, now we moving into the next
now
stage.
you're up there. By the time you get out the box, your shit is over.
No, but we're
And then they're gonna want another 80 grand.
We're gonna move to the next stage. So this is how I'm doing it. All right, I'm rolling out. This how I'm rolling out. What I'm seeing the rolling out is being done. I'm rolling out with the podcast. The podcast is my first level of defense. Boom. Podcast going out. YouTube, YouTubers. So now the podcast is just radio. The YouTubers like us, now you get the facial recognition, right? Now the DJs follow us. They follow me, right? So now if I'm posting your shit, if I'm doing collaborations with your shit, now you got DJ Clue, you got DJ Self, you got Envy,
Flex.
you got Chaotic, you got Funk Flex, you got you got DJs
Greg
across
Street,
Greg
Cosmic
Street,
Kev.
you got Cosmic Kev, all the DJs across the country follow me, okay? Boom. Now you exposed to the DJs. Now the next level is the DJs is gonna say, all right, I'm checking them out on all of these podcasts and all these YouTubes and all this shit. Where they at now? They on the playlist, the 80,000 joint. So any playlist that niggas is checking, my shit is up there for 5 weeks. Then I'm going to Sirius Satellite, then I'm going to mainstream radio. That's how they breaking them.
Plan of attack.
But let me ask you a question. I'm not trying to debate you, but let me ask you a
go
question.
ahead, tell me.
The problem I have with that is it takes about a week or two just to get your shit moving. By the time your 5 weeks is over, let's say if you got to get a certain amount of time on the chart, right, to get recognition. By the time your 5 weeks is over, your record is not going to be out there enough. And I'm going to tell you what some of these motherfuckers do.
I agree.
Oh, the money's gone? Boom. Your shit dropped like a rock.
I didn't say it worked. I said that that's what they're doing. I didn't say it worked. I said that's what they're doing.
80 grand,
That's
I want
why
my
they're
shit to
doing
be on
that.
the list for the whole fucking year.
That's why they're doing that. But the people, I'm gonna say is the people that are paying the 80 now, if I gave them that, I'm doing that, they're gonna let me do multiple records. So we might have 4 acts. Right?
Oh, you mean there's not, okay, you mean for a bunch of records.
Yeah, so you might have 4 acts. It's like, I'm your account for 2 months, okay? You give me my 80 grand, I got you on any playlist that any kid, any grown folk, anything that anybody's going on to, your fucking record is gonna be up there. After that 5 weeks go by and you take that next record and you go to Sirius Satellite, you bring me that and I'm gonna run your next one.
If you could do 4, 5, 6 artists for that,
I think you could do 4.
and if you had 3 months, that's not a bad deal. I just think it's too short of a time.
Yeah, but you can work, you can haggle, Kurt. You a haggler. That you know how niggas throw it out. It's 2 months, and you say, nah, give me 3 months. They be like, okay, you gonna pay me now? Yeah, I got you. Come
And
on,
it
Kurt,
sounds
you know
like
how it go.
it's sound like it's under the table, so niggas could do whatever for him on paper.
But Kurt,
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, nigga, I'll give you 5 weeks.
I don't know if it's under the table,
After
Kurt. You about
5
to get
weeks
me
is
shut
over,
down. I don't know if it's under the table.
But these playlists, right? They're really getting millions and millions of plays on these records. Then it's not like out in the ether.
No, it's real.
So if you're getting those millions and the label puts 80,000 and you've already said they're making 3 times, it's probably
For 5 weeks?
I mean, if let's just say this.
We want to run it up, Kurt.
We run it up.
We want to run it up.
I'm going to tell you the game.
Go for it.
Give me 3 minutes to tell you the game.
All right, yeah, let's go.
They're going to tell you that shit. So, okay, what's going to happen is the record label's going to say, well, we got 80,000 is going to get us 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So they pay the 80, right? And you're happy because you're on the chart, you're getting spins. Oh, by the way, the 5 weeks is over, so we got to spend another 80. Now, I'm going to tell you, this actually happened to this dude, right, back in the day. So after, let's say, a year, they're at like 400 grand. But see, there's only one funny thing. They only actually paid the motherfucker maybe 80 grand for the whole year. You owe that other 320.
Rock the budget.
Let me tell you something.
It's rocking the budget.
Rocking the budget.
I know about rocking the budget, Kurt.
You know what they did? There's this guy that had a group called Joe Public. They charged them $500,000, right? But what they did was they charged 5 other motherfuckers $500,000. So it was $2.5 million. They only needed $500,000.
$500,000 one time.
One time.
That's called rocking the budget.
And they charged everybody back that money.
Yes.
But somebody was disgruntled, and on the low, they got fired, they got disgruntled. On the low, they told them, they sued, they looked at the books. They had to pay them back the money.
It's called...
So some of that shit is game, bro, where they'll tell you, oh yeah, it's 400 grand. You happy because you're making show money and do whatever. But let's say if you owe that money, they're gonna take it from your royalties.
Yeah. Yo, I got a guarantee for all y'all rappers and singers, right? All of y'all that are making show money and the label knows it, they're robbing you for your royalties and your publishing. I guarantee you, because you don't have the time.
This is the worst.
And you think
ever,
that the money is in your hand. You think the money in your hand is the big pie, and they letting you run out there.
That's nothing money.
Go get a forensic accountant. If you can afford it, and if you out there getting all that show money, you can.
Hey, yo, this is the worst time ever in the music industry. This shit is crazy, man. Like, how the fuck can you spend $5,000 a month just to get on 2 platforms? And then if you do stream, if you get 10 million streams, what is that? You made like 40,000?
Let me tell you something.
Nigga, that's not even UPS money.
Our artists call us for promo
runs.
Promo runs, right? And they're like, yo, what am I gonna get? I was like, bro, you need at least 6,000. No one's doing. It's over. Those days of somebody's like, can you call in a favor? I said, for you?
Yo,
what
bro.
if my big people call through? I can't waste my favor on you.
Yo, bro, you gotta pay for space. You gotta pay for your cameraman. You gotta pay for food. You gotta pay for travel. See, those days,
it's over.
See, back in the day, let me not say back in the day, 10 years ago, the artist was the only commodity smoking. So anybody with a microphone, they don't gotta be on camera, just put the mic there, let them get credit. Now, it's niggas like me that's like, no nigga, I'm a part of the marketing too. You don't get the microphone if you don't get the face, my nigga. So now everything costs. I host shit, I fucking do clothing deals, I wear shit in my hair, I do all types of shit to get paid. Jim Jones said I'm in between a YouTuber and a rapper. So now you can't just come on the camera and get endorsed and do what you would regularly do with the people 10 years ago, because now this is what we doing is a different type of commodity. So it costs.
Yeah, it's a crazy game. I just think it's just too much work, man. Podcasts, playlists, this, that.
You just want to go to radio.
Nah, it's like back in the day.
Back in the day, we going to radio.
If you're an artist back in the day, man.
Video and radio.
Your man did the photo shoot. Your sister wrote your bio.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You got 5 songs. You go to record label and you got a deal. And once you got the deal, that's where the hard work came in.
Yeah.
Politics, having a manager that knows what they're doing, how to speak to the label. Politics again, getting to know the market and promo people, and making sure that you got somebody up there that knows and is going to tell you
the
realistically.
ins and outs.
They got to do way more than that. But yo, let's go. I'm going to tell one more story. I know y'all got stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to get into the Columbia years. This is important. So after I left Uptown, I got a job at Columbia Records. And Columbia was mad corporate. Like, they was wearing ties and shit around the office, right?
That's the job that Dre got you, right?
Yeah, that's the job that Andre got.
Oh, you said that.
So I'm up there, and they looking at me like, look at this little black motherfucker from the Bronx. Like, they damn near like the one to pat me on the head or some shit. So when I got there, I was like, you know what? I'm going to like make this shit work. I'm gonna bring them some shit that's fire. They had Surface and People Bryson. So it was like, and nothing wrong with them. They were super hot artists, but it was a time. It was a time for some new stuff. So when I got there, the first thing I did, I worked with this group called Fishbone. And I had the Jungle Brothers and Q-Tip work with them. They had this record called Bone in the Boneyard that was off the chain. I was like, yo, this is dope. This is gonna blow up. And next thing I know, that I got a call. This is the way they do shit. They'll give you a call and say, yo, Kurt, bring your music up. And then you get in the room, there's like 30 people sitting in there. And all you thought we was gonna do is play the music for the president. And I'm like, okay, Kurt, have a seat. You know, we decided that, you know, we love what your job you did and it's great, but Fishbone is not a rock group. They're a rock band. So, you know, we don't think this is gonna work. And I said, yo, you gotta give it a chance. This is where it's going. I remember this one guy says, Kurt, Fishbone's a rock band.
They were a black rock rap
They're not
band.
a rap group. And I was like, this is like my 10th day on the job. No, I was there for about 15, 20 days. And I said, okay, I'll never get this. I'm out in LA and I hear this group go, give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it away, give it away. I ran into the store, I was like, yo, who's that? It says the Hot Chili Peppers. I called one of the guys from Fishbone, like, yo, who the Hot Chili Peppers? I said, yo, man, that's them kids, they are rivals. I called Donnie and said, Donnie, did you hear the Hot Chili Peppers record? I said, yeah, Kurt, I heard it. I heard it. Yeah, you was right. We should have went in that direction. They went and did, they were rivals with Fishbone. They were white kind of
but they white
band.
The Red Hot Chili Peppers.
The Red Hot Chili Peppers. And then Fishbone was the black rock ska band. But the Chili Peppers took and incorporated hip hop. They sold 11 million records. Fishbone went through a bunch of crazy shit and they wound up actually disbanding for a minute. And that's when I told Donnie, I said, Donnie, I'm from the street. I'm not a street cat, but I'm from the street. You gotta believe in what I'm saying, because y'all not out there. And the shit that my people want, everybody wants. This is Kurt. I'm gonna let you do your thing. So the next thing is I'm uptown with my cousin, and they got this group, and it's like we got this record called Stomping Niggas from Compton, right? So I get in the room and I see it's Alpo and what's this other guy? AZ or Z, AZ, and yo, we got this record and Gangsta Lou. And I'm all sitting in there, shit, and there's like 40 people, we're talking. And I'm like, yo, that's a dope record. About a week later, my cousin calls me and says, Kurt, the whole shit, we in some beef with these people, we can't do the deal. I said, yo, niggas wait their whole life. I said, yo, it's crazy, Kurt. If you know what's going on, it's crazy. We can't do the deal. I said, yeah, but do what you want to do with the record. I said, how can I do some of the record if y'all can't be on it? He said, fuck it, let's take the concept. Believe me. And I found out later they was all fighting and shooting each other and all type of wild shit. And so I said, no, I'm gonna change the record from Stomping Niggas from Compton to Fuck Compton. So I said G from Ultramagnetic was in my office. I said, come on in. So he started playing me. There was this one track called Ego Tripping. I said, yo, who's that track? Who's on that track? He said, no, it's called, it's this bunch of us. Matter of fact, it was called, no, it wasn't Ego Trip, it was called the Chorus Line. And they had a whole bunch of rappers. And I said, yo, who's this nigga right here with the deep voice? Well, that's Tim Dog. I said, what do he look like? So I bring him down to the office. Tim was like 6'2", like maybe 2 and some change.
But naked Tim Dog.
He looked like that was an A&R.
Oh.
The other Tim Dog was the rapper.
Oh, shit.
And I said, yo, we gonna do a record called Fuck Compton, right? So we did the record, and I'm out in the West Coast. I'm looking at this shit as fun. So I'm at Soul Train, right? Cause I don't get involved in that shit. I'm at Soul Train.
He said, I'm looking at fuck Compton, it's fun. Yo, it's fun, it's fun.
Yeah, so I'm out in LA,
and I'm in
right?
LA making fuck Compton.
And I'm backstage at the Soul Train show. Because the Soul Train would shoot every weekend. And they would have like 7 to 8 artists perform, and then a month later they would put it out. They would have it rotate. So Eazy E trying to get some ass, he's trying to hit some chicks. He's back there. So he said, yo, Juice, I gotta talk to you, man. I said, what's up? I said, yo, man, you did that fuck Compton record? I said, yeah. So he just shook his head. He said, look, man, it's all in fun, but some of these niggas don't think it's fun, bro. I said, I'm gonna give you a pass because you looked out, because they went on tour with us with Heavy D. I didn't know what, they had a record called Boys in the Boys in the Hood, some shit, right?
You don't know that record?
Everywhere
it's funny, he don't know the record.
Yo, everywhere we go to, no, but this is before it blew up. Everywhere we go to, they looking at them. We in the Midwest, Texas, everybody looking at, who the fuck are these niggas? Yo, we went to Vegas. Them niggas with bananas. We went to, I think it was San Diego or some shit. Yo, when we got to LA, because all them niggas was like this big. So I'm like, yo, they got horses out there, motorcycles, helicopters. So I went to Jerry Heller. I said, yo, what the fuck? What's all this going on? I said, yo, it's for NWA. I said, them niggas? Yo, let me tell you something. When we was on the road, and not for real, when we was on the road, it was the most quietest, laid back, chill cats.
But they Cali niggas, they smoke weed.
They were just chilling, and they van broke down. So they said, Kurt, man, can we ride on the bus with y'all? I said, yeah, we had 2 buses. One, and I said, no, y'all can come on the bus. Come on, there's no problem. Chilling, they talking about girls and shit. Yo, when we got to LA, I was like, all this shit is for these niggas? And they come, the boys in the hood, the whole crowd, them niggas is doing the fucking dances they do. I'm like, yo, what for this shit? Yo, when I got back home, my man, cause he was from LA, he says, Kurt, man, that shit is real out there. I said, yo, lucky that you know E, because he kind of gave you a pass, bro, because that fuck Compton record. Now, I'm gonna tell you what's funny about it, though. Niggas from South Central and Watts, they was with it. Because they thought like, because they not from Compton. So when I got other places, them niggas like, yo, man, you Kurt Woodley. I said, oh, shit, here it come.
Can you fix them up?
I was like, yo, man.
Fuck Compton.
Shit, fuck them niggas. So I called my man, and I was like, yo, what's going on here? Like, he said, Kurt, this is not like New York. Like, Brooklyn got their little shit with Manhattan and the Bronx, but out there,
it's gang culture.
Niggas from Watts don't fuck with Compton niggas. Niggas from South Central don't like them niggas. So you good. As long as there ain't no Compton niggas, you good.
But if it's a Compton
and I was
nigga,
like, you know what? Before I do anything again, I'm gonna make sure I do my research. Because I could have went the fuck out. I could have went out there and got laid the fuck out.
Effortlessly.
Yo, let me tell you one thing. One time I'm in the hotel, right? And I got a whole Yankee outfit on.
Oh, he just spoke about it.
I got a blue Yankee hat, and I got a blue jacket. Like my whole outfit's Yankee, like, little Yankee thing on the pants, like sweatsuit.
Where were you staying at?
Okay, if you ever go to Universal City, there's a Hyatt up top, and on the bottom there's a Hilton. So I'm staying at the Hilton, and I go up top to the Hyatt, right? Because everybody goes to the Hyatt. I was like, man, I'm gonna stay. No, this is a Universal City, right? So I see Ice-T. Ice-T like, yo, what's up, Kurt? What's going on? And he's like looking at me, right? So he says, yo, man, you really can't go everywhere with that outfit on. I said, it's a Yankee outfit. I said, they can't see the Yankee. I said, yo, dude, it depends where you're going, bro. Like, I don't know if you can rock that shit like that. I said, yo, dude, if you stay in this area, you good, man. But if you're gonna go eat and do something with somebody, just do me a favor, take that shit off, bro. And I was like, oh, okay. And out of nowhere, this one nigga came and started doing some shit, right? and then Ice-T said, yeah, motherfucker. And I'm looking at this shit like, yo, what the fuck is going on? So my man was like, oh, because I think this one nigga's a blood and this nigga's a Crip. So if they see each other, they got to at least, you know, like, I said, yo, man, this shit got to be the craziest shit I've ever seen. That same day, I'm in the mall. I took my shit off, of course. So I'm in the mall. I'm in the mall, right? So I see this dude, and he's got like, they good for when like these braids, like a braid here and a braid here and a braid here. Some shit, right? So he's walking with this girl, and there's a little kid, and this Spanish cat comes. And the dude he just stops and does some shit like this and watch the brother go by. They didn't say nothing to each other. Mexican cat. He just stopped and posted and did something like this, and he leaned and watched the brother go by. And the brothers kept on going. He didn't say, I said, yo, what the fuck? What type of technology is this shit? Like, yo, man, it's like, it's crazy. I remember another thing. One time, we were out there celebrating. Something happened, and we had bottles, we drinking. And my man was like, yo, dude, like, y'all need to take that inside. This is my boy from LA. I said, yo, man, we having fun. I said, it doesn't work like that out here, man. I said, it don't work like, they're gonna figure out you're not from here. They're gonna figure out that you're from New York. And the niggas can roll and y'all all be laid out in a matter of no time, man, please. And we took it in. And I'm like, yo, because I used to go to LA, everybody was cool with everybody. When I used to go like in 83, 84, like, we used to go to LA, you never had to get a car because niggas would come get you at the airport. Like, yo, what's up? And your people would come get you and you go out and you go, the girl, I mean, you had to have like,
you was with Russell Simmons in there. What are you talking about?
You had to have one arm and four heads, not to get no ass. I don't know if I can say all this on the camera, but yo, LA was yo, dude, this shit was.
Had one arm and four heads.
Yo, dude, it's like, I couldn't believe, like, the girls were so nice. It was like, you get back home, these bitches looking, I shouldn't say that, but.
Nah, everyone says that I go out of town. You know how many out of towners come to New York and be like, why these girls so mean? Like, what the fuck?
Yo, they different in New York, bro.
Yo, bro, it's like,
they different.
Just traveling around, but the great thing, let me tell you a funny story, and we'll move up to Columbia shit. So one day, Andre sees me, right? We're in LA. He says, you know what, Kurt? We've been buying shit for you for years, nigga. You got that Columbia credit card? I said, yeah, I got it. I said, okay, meet us at the club, because you're going to buy some bottles, nigga. I've been buying shit for you for years. I said, okay. So we get to the club, right? And we get to the table. You know, it's Russell, it's Andre. I forget, somebody else was with us. And Sylvester Stallone came by, and somebody else came by. Says, Kurt, buy some food and 2 bottles, right? I said, okay, cool. That's gonna be about, back then it was like $250, $300 maybe, right? So, no, it was cheap back then. It was $250, $300. It wasn't like that bottle service shit. So this chick goes by, man. Oh my God, she looked off the chains. I fucking ran up and said, yo, you wanna dance? She said, sure. So I'm dancing, you know, record goes by, another record goes by. I'm there like,
how much was it?
Yo, I came back, I was like, oh shit, these niggas ordered, they left and ordered like 8 more bottles. The table's filled before I said, I'm getting fired. I'm getting fired. So the first thing I do is I complain to the waitress. I said, yo, I didn't order this shit. She said, it doesn't work that way. It's on the table. So whoever orders at that table, you're responsible for. I said, I need to see the manager. So he called me, right? And he said, look, talk to your people. There's nothing you could do, but I think if you could really say that you didn't order it and you didn't know these people, they'll reverse your charges. So I said, damn, I'm not gonna get it. I said, I'm getting fired. So I went to the main guy. He said, well, Kurt, write a report out. So I wrote a report, who was there, and this. He says, Kurt, and the bill was like $2,500, right? That's a lot. Now, that's regular shit for the day, but back then, that's like 7 bottles, full. Anyway, so he says, yo, you saw Eddie Murphy? I said, 'cause they were really there. Eddie Murphy came through. But then what's name was actually at our table for like a whole hour.
Sylvester
Pat
Stallone?
LaBelle. Pat
Oh,
LaBelle
Pat
was
LaBelle.
actually telling me what I should do and not do with Mary, right?
Really?
Yeah, she was.
What was she saying?
She was just saying something like keep the right people around her. Don't let the wrong people get with her. Keep it going, but make sure she always knows that singing is the main thing. And you know, so I'm listening to it. I see the chick. I ran with her and came
You
back.
just ignored Patty LaBelle like that?
I didn't ignore her. I mean,
He went there.
no, I'm saying though, but after she finished talking,
I'm on it.
and then another the chick went by and I ran out and came back. Everybody was gone. They said, "Yo, that's what we need." I said, "So everything's cool?" I said, "Yeah, no, it's cool. That's what we need. We need you to do. We need to get in
Out
with
there.
the community. We need you to get." Yo, they told me that shit, bro. My fucking car was so hot. Yo, dude, you couldn't hold that shit if you had motherfucking, if you had baseball gloves. I was like, yo.
I got that shit.
Hey,
But
yo.
I told him that's how that shit
Yo,
was.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie.
The imprint came off my shit. I used that shit so much.
Yo, the first time we went out on a corporate card, right? I'm being real timid, right? So this guy's ordering mad shit.
He's like, look at my card, Kurt.
Yeah, he go crazy. And I'm like, he's like, this guy's ordering, give me 2 pictures. I'm like,
Yeah, he
give me another one.
I'm going nuts.
3 more steaks. I'm like, yo, my heart is pounding.
I'm going nuts.
Because I'm living a regular life where people got to figure out how to tally the bill. He's like, Hein, what the fuck
do you want?
He said, what are you doing? He pulled me to the side. He said, listen, when you go out, you rock these niggas' cards. If you don't, they're gonna think you're a fuckboy.
Yeah.
They need to know you know the game. You get 3 steaks. I'm like,
I get whatever the fuck I want, nigga. Hey, yo, Kurt, I bring niggas with me. I bring niggas with, y'all niggas, we hanging out with my man today, yo. We going over here, and as soon as he turned his head, get what the fuck y'all niggas want. Anything you dream of, try shit, drinks, whatever,
Yo,
we
tell you
going
something,
nuts.
man. I went
Nuts.
And then one time they called me and said, Kurt, do you know Rosie Perez? Now, Rosie was a choreographer, for Heavy and them. I said, I know Rosie. Now, she just blew up in the movie.
yeah.
So they were like, you know Rosie Perez? I said, yeah, I know her. But we need you to go and bring her here, right? So they figured if J-Lo could sing, she could sing too. That was my theory. She didn't sing. Anyway, now I'm being serious. They figured if J-Lo could sing, she could sing too. That's my theory, right? So I go hang out with me and her, cool. Like, yo, what's up? Da-da-da. So see, I say to her, you know what? You want to come by the office one day? I said, let's go right now. So we went. I go to Donnie's office. I go to this office. And Tommy likes Spanish girls anyway. He's on some bullshit with that. So Tommy comes down. Yo, dude. Then about 3 days later, one of the A&Rs come to me and says, yo, dude, let me tell you something, bro. You got it where you could just do what the fuck you want to do in here. Because every time you say you're going to bring somebody, at the time, what's this guy's name? Shit. He was managing Keith Sweat. He was managing Keith Sweat and a couple others. He came through. But what happened was he couldn't do the deal because he wound up running Island Records. You know, Andre used to come through all the time. So I had clout. And I was gonna go and get a promotion, but then my partner called me and said, yo, dude, we have an opportunity to have our own deal with RCA. So this is like great. I want to be Russell and Andre. I'm finally gonna have my own shit. So my attorney said, well, Kurt, they're gonna give you 2 and some change, an expense account, and your advance is gonna be 50 grand. So it's really gonna be $150,000 a year plus a $50,000 advance. I said, no, I'm not doing that. I wanna do my own label. I'm gonna do my own shit. Yo, I signed the deal in September, got cancer in November. It was, I'll never forget, I'm trying to go to the hospital and take chemo and do all this shit. I'm running to the studio, doing things. One day, I'm in the hospital. I don't know if you ever unfortunately, had anybody that had cancer.
Yeah, my father did.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
No, he's still living though. He's still living.
But it makes you irritable. So I'm in the hospital and I'm like, yo, I can't stay in here. Cause I had to go from Monday I had to go 5 days in a row to take my chemo. And then you would get out for like 3 weeks, but by the time you're ready to go, like you get better, you gotta start all over again. So I'm like, man, I can't take this shit no more. I called my boy. I said, yo, man, come get me. I'm out of here. This is Kurt, man. Do your 5 days. Do your 5 days. It was Wednesday. I said, nah, man, fuck that. I'm out of here. I'm banging my feet and shit. So he comes and gets me, and I'm at my mother's house, right? And I'm feeling like real nauseous. Yo, sweat was coming off me like water. I roamed into the hall and I fell out. And my mother, small, like she's like 5'3", 100-something pounds. She picked me up because she thought I died. And I fell again. Next thing I know, I woke up in a hospital, right? And I'm in there. Later that day, the doctor saw. My doctor came, says, Kurt. I said, what's up, doc? What's going on? You came all the way to see me? And so he's looking at me laughing like, okay, you think this shit is funny, right? He said, what month is this, Kurt? I said, this is August. I said, I'll tell you what. You want me to keep it real? I said, oh shit, doc's gonna keep it real. He's a Jewish doctor. You gonna keep it real, doc? He said, yo, dude, you'll be dead by Christmas if you keep this shit up. You'll be dead by Christmas. I called my people and said, look, y'all gotta handle it. I can't do it no more. That was it for me for about 2 years. It took me a year to get around the shit. And then even after I was cured from it, like, you still, like to this day, I can't feel the bottom of my feet. Like if you ever see me walk, sometimes I'll trip and people laugh and shit because when you get chemo, it goes to it'll be in the bottom of your feet forever. Yeah, it's crazy, bro. Like you lose weight, you lose hair, you get nauseous. And it's like, the only good thing that came out of it was, when I went to the doctor, I had this doctor, and I'm gonna tell you how God works. So when I first had it, because I had testicular cancer, it felt like a midget was taking a needle and sticking me in my nuts, right? Like, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Yo, it was so, and then it started to come up here. It was so bad that I was driving on the FDR. I had to pull over on the grass for 2 hours just standing there like this. And I went to the hospital and they didn't know what it was. So one day, Andre said, well, go see my doctor. And the car wouldn't come, 'cause I couldn't drive. So the car didn't pick me up. And I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on with the car? So later on, I said, fuck it, it was too late to go see him. I said, I can't take this no more. I went down to New York Hospital. So I get there, and they do a test and all this shit. So he says, yo, I don't know what this is. So he says, look, I got 2 experts. You can see either Dr. Lou or Dr. Strauss. I'll never forget this. This guy, this is like 9 o'clock, almost 10 o'clock at night. This guy's mopping, Spanish cat's mopping. He says, Dr. Lou, go see Dr. Lou. He's the best. He mops this a little bit, puts his mop in the pail and walks out. Right? I said, well, Dr. Lou's good. My mother to this day thought that was an angel. Because this dude's mopping 10 o'clock at night. He comes in, says Dr. Lou's the best, puts the mop in the pail, and just walks out. So I said, oh shit, if Dr. Lou's good enough for him, he's good enough for me. So I went to see Dr. Lou. He didn't know what it was. I said, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go, because they didn't have CAT scans at the time. I'm gonna have you do a 360 x-ray, because x-ray is usually from here to here. I want you to go this way, this way. They don't usually take it sideways. This is before they had CAT scans and ultrasound, all that shit. So an hour later, he said, yo, I found out what the problem was. So I got good news and bad news. I said, what's the good news? Good news, no, he said, what's the bad news? I said, I don't have AIDS. It's not the common cold. And it's bad, so it's cancer. It's gonna be the worst thing underneath. He shook his head, said, yep. I said, yo, what the fuck is the good news? He said, if you do what you're supposed to do, it's 80% curable. And you won't get that type of cancer again. It doesn't come back. And He said the only reason, I said, well, what happened over the last 2 months? How come nobody could see it? He said, because you have an organ here and you got an organ here. The cancer was in between the two organs. It was like having like salami and 2 pieces of bread.
God.
So they couldn't see it. So when he went sideways, he saw something. And then he did some blood tests and some other shit. They found out it was cancer.
Do you think it came from the stress of the music business?
I think, you know what's funny? It depends. I don't smoke. I barely drink. I think everybody's got stress, bro. I think it could be music, it could be kids, it could be work. I think sometimes you have certain genes, those genes get ignited. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. I was running around a little bit, or a lot, depending on what day it was.
What you're running around, but I heard shooting sperm helps you from getting cancer. You know what I'm saying? I heard that when you stop having sex,
could be.
It hurts you more than when you are having sex.
It could be, but, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, you got 5-year-olds getting cancer. You know what I'm saying?
It's probably from the food with them right now. It's a whole lot of stuff
Could be
going
anything.
on.
So many
I got a question for you. Cause we can talk about that. I got one more question for you.
Okay.
And this is some heartfelt. I need to know what were your thoughts and how you felt when you found out that Dre had passed away.
Okay. I'm sitting that night. It's 2 a.m. And I don't go to bed till late, so I'm already up doing some shit. Jimmy gives me a call. That's Jimmy Jenkins, right? He was the head of promotion. Now, I don't even call him a friend. He's like my brother. Like me, Andre, and Jimmy brothers. And he called me. I didn't pick up at 2 a.m. I called Jimmy in the morning. He called me again. I didn't pick up. He called me again. I said, oh, man, this is bad. He said, yo, man, Dre died. And I'm like, what? He said, yeah, Dre died. Yo, until the day of the funeral, it didn't hit me. And I was like, yo, Dre was just getting ready to do a big deal with BET. 5-film deal. And the first one was going to be the Uptown story. They had interviewed everybody, talked to everybody. The first one was supposed to be the Uptown. There's no way that ain't gonna work. And we met in New York. He had this big thing in Newark where they were scouting for people. It was more publicity than trying to find people, even though he did find a couple of people. They actually found a girl to play Mary from that whole promotion. But he passed away. And when I went, and it was kind of wild because it's like, here's a dude who was huge in the game, big, but only 20 people could come to his funeral.
No, because I wanted
to go. Because he died right at the heart of the pandemic in May. Mm-hmm. And when we all, now what was supposed to happen was we were supposed to all drive out to the cemetery and they was gonna play his favorite song, Before I Let Go. Really? Before I Let Go. And everybody was supposed to open up their cars, like, the roof and the windows, and play the music, but it was pouring rain. So I was like, yo, man, like,
it's crazy.
This is all crazy. And I have to be honest, this is gonna sound crazy. It still ain't really hit me. Because I can't comprehend that he ain't here. So you have this mental thing of that they're not gone, they're just in another place. You know, you have a family member, they go to LA, they move, and they move for a long time, right? Or they used to seeing them, but they moved to Virginia or some shit. That's the way you look at it.
I don't see them no more.
You know what I'm saying? You don't see them as being, like,
gone.
To this day, I don't see it that way.
So I wanted to know. So how would people find you, Kurt? Like, is there anything you wanted to ask him about his history before we go? Any questions? Because you be having key questions. You know what I'm saying? Stuff that I don't think about. Is there anything that you want to ask him before we go?
I was going to ask him about Gilly and ghostwriting again. Like, because that, you don't get enough credit for that.
The trouble back here.
Yeah, you know me.
But you know what's funny? All those cats, it was a group. I used to work with a guy named Chris Swartz. Chris Swartz had the Fugees, Lauryn Hill, Cypress Hill, a couple of other acts. And he started his own label. And this is like years later. He says, Kurt, come on out. You know, I'm going to get you involved. You don't have to move to Philly. Come out here. So he told me about this group called Major Figaz. And the funny thing was, all of them wrote for other people. There was like 10 of them. And it was like 5 people, 6 people that wrote for other people. And Gilly was the leader. The only thing I'm going to say is, this was my opinion, but I thought that the album wasn't finished. And they needed 4 to 5 more records. And some people didn't think, and it just didn't go because I didn't think they had
the material that they needed.
They had good records, but they didn't have like that bang record. And I thought sometimes people thought because who they were, it would just automatically blow up. That wasn't the case.
Because Gilly doesn't get a lot of credit for his ghostwriting, nor does he talk about it. Because
he don't talk about it.
Because he had that, because of that thing, I feel like that went on with him and Lil Wayne, kind of. Yeah. So he doesn't really talk about who he wrote for beyond that. But I don't think he gets enough credit for what he contributed musically because it was more behind the scenes than in front of the camera.
Big fan.
So I'll leave it at that. Shout out to Gilly. Shout out to
Gil was cool.
A real talented dude.
I remember we went to some convention and we was playing ball. I was like, oh shit, Gilly could play. We was out there playing. And it was like all of them. It was like you know, Gilly and a few other people. And I remember they played Uptown. Because I was already out Uptown doing some other stuff, but there was some people that were still at Uptown. And they were like, Kurt, what side you on, man? You with us or you with Philly? I said, I'm with Philly today, man. But,
how do you feel about the relaunching of Uptown with Coi Leray being on and
funny?
Signing people?
I just found about that like 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
They said Coi Leray is on Uptown. I said, there's still I heard about they was going to relaunch it. But I didn't know that they actually did it.
They got a new kid too from Harlem, Joe West or something like that. Yeah. He's on Uptown
they
too.
They don't use the cat logo anymore.
Nah, I didn't see that.
Is it still the Uptown thing?
I'm supposed to host something for them with somebody else, and I asked them if I do. They need to have that logo.
They gotta bring the cat.
They didn't say that. They didn't mention it though, but who knows, yo?
I didn't know. For years, I heard it coming back. I think somebody told me his son has something to do with it too, which would be great.
I just found out about it last week.
Well, what's the cat represent?
The cat supposed to represent Harlem. Like he's a cool dude.
He's a cool cat.
He wears sneakers. Nike told us to take the thing off. But eventually, I mean, not eventually, but in the very beginning, he was wearing the Swiss or the Nike.
Was it like a Garfield type of shit, like a cool cat?
Like, yeah, like a cool cat. He wore sneakers and stuff.
Because a cat would right now, if you drop the cat as your logo,
Mark, it's up.
Yo, people would be like, yo, what is that?
The merchandising alone would be crazy.
That? Yeah.
So Nike had a problem with the cat wearing the swoosh?
Yeah. They didn't want the cat wearing the swoosh.
Well, they sent a cease and desist, or they?
Yeah, they said take that shit off that nigga.
So Kurt, if they would find you, right? If people are looking for you, how can they find you? Because somebody had to connect us.
Well,
on
you know
Facebook.
what I gotta do? I gotta get my Instagram up.
Oh man,
I don't use Instagram, man. I don't like. You know what's funny about Facebook? I was fucking with Facebook. But then when the pandemic came, it was like an obituary. I was like, oh shit.
Yes, everybody
so
dying.
I said, I can't look at Facebook.
Look at that shit, yeah.
Eventually I'm gonna get my Instagram shit back up.
All right, but you can find them on Facebook.
You can find me on Facebook when I do go to Facebook.
There you go.
When I get the courage to go on it.
Oh, yo, somebody told me a story about you real quick before we go. Is this true? They said they came, they played the music for you.
Oh, yeah.
And you gave them the music and you said, get the fuck out of my office and don't quit your day job.
I would never say that. Whoever said that is not, I would never say that. Actually, I pride myself on if you came to my office and you had something there, I would say, look, I can't do anything now, but work on this, that, and this, and come back. That's what Father did. I didn't take Father right out the bat. He came back 5 or 6 times before I sent him to work with Corey Rooney and Mark Rouse. Now, he might deny that. He even said one time on B.I., Kurt had me rewrite my songs 80,000 times or some shit. But he, I always gave people you know,
A shot.
encouragement, direction.
The moral to the story is people be capped. That's why I gotta ask.
That's not.
the
No, I
source.
would never do that. Now I'm gonna tell you a funny story that I gotta clean up too. Not clean up, but clear up. There's this room I fell asleep on Jodeci. So let me clear that rumor up. So what happened was, right? I'm working in the studio with Jeff Red. Jeff Red had a huge record called You Call and Told Me eventually. He's actually was the first artist I signed and had a lot to do with the success of Kurt Woodley. And, you know, because he was a real, like, guy. He was a man. He wasn't a kid. He was a man. So he helped me a lot, you know, when I first came out the bat. And actually, he was the one who brought us Mary. So get to the point, I'm working with Jeff Red in the studio. And it was supposed to be a session ending at 12 or 1. We went to 8 in the morning. So instead of going home, I went straight to the office. The original game plan was I'll work till 12 o'clock and go home. 8 o'clock at night, I'm still there. I'm on fumes. I'm heading to the elevator, and these kids come up in the elevator. Yo, man, who are you? You Kurt Woodley? I said, how do you know that? Oh, shit, nigga, come on, man. We just came up from North Carolina. I said, yo, dude, I'm tired. I'm dead tired. Please, I got to go home. No, we just drove up. Bob Celestin said that you should come and you should check us out. And I called Bob and said, Bob, like, yeah, Kurt, they drove up here because the management company was in Brooklyn and the label was in New York. So they had to come here because Bob said, look, I can't sign you. But Kurt Woodley's the A&Rs. They jumped in their shit and came. I'm dead tired. All right, come on. So they start playing their music. Now, I'm going to tell you what. Everybody knows Devontae Swing is known more for his ballads and mids than his up-tempos. But Devontae always wanted to be Teddy Riley. So he started playing his up-tempos. So I'm like, and I'm getting the elbow, like I think it was either JoJo or KC was trying to keep me up. And I'm nodding and shit. Because the music wasn't all that great to me. They said, yo, man, you don't like our shit? I said, it's cool. So I played them some other shit. Played them a Jeff Red record. They make a joke of that today. Yo, we sold 2 million records. You played as Jeff Red. Who I know, he did really well, though. He did well. But they was making some type of weird joke. This is years later. So anyway, I'm tired. I'm falling asleep. So I said, look, man, let me go get some cold water and put it in my face. Right? So I get to the water fountain, put some water on my face. So I'm walking back, and Heavy and Glenn, G Wiz from Heavy D and the Boys, and Heavy, yo, Kurt, they dope. I said, what? I said, you think so? I said, yeah. He said, Kurt, they dope. I said, I don't know, man. Heavy. So I said, let me go in here. So Glenn comes back with me. He said, play the music. Casey and Joe, play the music.
They played the ballad.
And what's the brother, Delvin? Play the music. He started playing that ballad.
The ballads.
I was like, yo, these kids, I woke up, got energized. I went and called Andre. Andre came up and says, Kurt, I got to take my girl to do something important. I can't change it. Here's my card. Put him in a hotel right next to where I live at, right? The rest was history. So they told somebody, oh, Kurt Woodley fell asleep on us. And I was like, yo, niggas, y'all ain't telling the whole story, though.
Yo,
but
Kurt.
that was just to clean that up.
That goes to what Esso says. There's a lot of times people go to label meetings and they say, yo, they thinking about signing me. And Esso's like, it ain't gonna go through. And they're like, why? If you're that good, they don't let you leave. And you just confirmed it. You like, stay over here. Here's my credit card. Yo, if you really that deal, they ain't gonna let you walk out that room.
It ain't nothing such that. They signed me right there.
Yep.
BagFuel, shout out to Kurt Woodley.
Thank you, man.
I can't even tell you the stories and stuff that you told and the jewels that you dropped.
Beautiful.
I hope your platform goes crazy. And if
I hope so, too.
And if you ever need us for your platform,
it's
give us a
I
call.
might need info from y'all because y'all seen y'all got the solutions. No, I'm serious. The one thing I learned, you don't know everything, and you never know where you could get help and solutions.
That's
true.
Fact.
But
maybe
yo,
that's why we bought together.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me. You know.
We out.
Boom.
Shout out to Thompson Studios 125.
Yep. This is hot. This is dope.
Nice
I like
vibe.
this back wall.
And it's black owned. Get it right. And they making moves.
100 grand.
Yep.
here.
And they got the wall.
Yeah. We out.